Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just saw Legacy turn around game 1 to pick up a victory over TM. Still a best-of-3 series. They're about to head into game number 2 very shortly. Gentlemen, what do you expect to change here? Because TM looked like they started off that game really well.
I expect Legacy to clean up their early game. I feel like they won't be happy with how that happened, how they fell behind early and they had to come back. I feel like in a position, a team in a position like Legacy, they shouldn't be dropping early games to TM.
Bold call. Tally will get a priority lane for the first time this split. I honestly think that he's probably sick of being put in crappy 50-50 lanes or even, you know, the 30-70 lanes. I think that, you know, he'll actually potentially get to have a good laning phase this time around.
Hopefully for him, right? He doesn't look very happy on the screen right now. He's a bit somber.
Good news story is we'll be able to check in with Coach Soulstrikes later.
He's actually the new swiper of the OPL.
He is.
Swiper actually gets to play the lanes he wants to play now. I don't know. Maybe it's Jish being back on the team, but Tally has, I feel, just picked for comp nearly every single game this split so far.
I mean, I just agree. He agrees with you. Look at him.
Poor Tally. But we have some interesting bans coming out from Legacy here. We have Zilean, Thresh, and Lee Sin. No Zac ban from TM as well.
Ooh.
That's an instant lock-in for Legacy. Galio, Xayah, and Renekton.
Only is going to play Nidalee. Here's the call.
I agree.
Nidalee?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's interesting because this is the second team T ever done this to. And we saw in the video where T-Gun's just talking about how smart Johnny is. He's like, yeah, we give Juve Zac. He just sucks.
Next
like,
week,
maybe it's the same.
Carbon sucks.
When he doesn't play Nunu.
Oh, he played Elise. That's boring. So the reason that people internationally play Nidalee into the Zac is the theory behind it is he doesn't clear quickly anymore after his first clear. So then what you do is you just tell all your lanes to be relatively safe and you just walk into his jungle, start taking stuff off him and farm way quicker.
And you said, wait, he doesn't clear quickly after his first clear?
Yeah, so first clear is absolutely fine.
And Nidalee's first clear isn't all that good, right? She spikes once she gets...
Yeah, so her first clear is quick if you start chickens, and then is actually not great until you get upgraded jungle out of it.
Yeah.
I do like the bans coming out from Cyclone, though, taking away Xayah from Lost and Renekton, because that means that at least Galio and Zac one of them had to be banned by Legacy. If not, TM would get one or the other.
Hey.
That's a quick lock-in, though, of Fiora as well as Varus.
Sorry, Tally. You don't get a priority lane again.
I mean, yeah, TM are going to ban Kennen. They're going to ban... What's the other one?
Potentially Jace.
Yeah, Jace. Kennen and Jace bans, I think, will come out, and then that Fiora matchup's going to hurt.
Kennen already banned out by TM.
Lucian. Tally can play Lucian top.
Please don't.
He does it in solo. He hard carried against me in solo queue.
Yep.
And would that be Fiora? I feel like that would just take a...
Every week of the OPL reminds me why I don't play solo queue on a Monday after the OPL the night before.
Yeah.
I had a Draven mid lane yesterday.
That's not good.
That was played in the OCS against someone blind picked Lucian mid, and they just ran down mid with Draven.
That's a baller move.
Ran it down mid.
I love that.
Talia's the final ban from TM.
Bloody big brother.
Look at me. I have the AD carry now.
Yeah.
We have a Syndra ban coming out from Legacy.
And it's actually hilarious to watch that matchup because Draven puts like 15, Lucian puts like 15 bullets into someone and Draven hits him with Infinity Edge Static Shiv once and like just takes 80% of his health.
And I do want to talk about something kind of niche in the Legacy draft. Because Cupcake can't play Thresh, they actually banned the Thresh. And I feel like this works as a disservice to TM because Thresh into Zac is so good. He just like, he sits there charging his thing and then you just flay him when he tries to engage. So they don't have that option. They can look for like a Janna or something if they want to like cancel the Zacky and get rid of Legacy's engage because I don't feel like Legacy can pick much more engage from the top lane.
What are your thoughts on Janna at the moment?
Acceptable.
She's never been fun to play. I'm not going
to... I disagree. Like, not many people know this about me, but I love playing Janna. Like, in solo queue, this is how I play solo queue, right? Like, I look at the enemy team comp, like, whose day can I ruin? They picked no, they picked Sion. I'm playing Trundle. Every time he ultis, I'm going to pillar. They picked Zac. I play Janna. Lucian top. There we go.
Lucian top, Karma mid, Xayah support, Lucian top, Jhin AD carry. Unless he's got a really fancy Jhin top, which I don't know about.
I don't think that.
Or a very fancy Karma top. It could be possible. There's the Goon on the Blitzcrank, though.
The best thing about the Goon Blitzcrank is the skin he uses when like he's and then he does like the fist. The camera's not. He does the spinny fist. Oh. Yeah.
You're a big skin fan.
I love skins. I love skins. I couldn't be Faker. Faker's too boring.
What's the best skin in the game then?
The best skin in the game?
Yes.
Oh, That's a
You
tough
love
one.
skins.
I
Come on.
don't
You've gotta
think
have,
there
like,
is a best skin.
favorite.
I don't think there is a best skin in the game anymore. There's too many. There's too many good ones. I think Mukau Ali's pretty up there. Like Cowbell Ali. And now he has chroma packs, so that's even better.
Ah, Tegan could have picked it last game. Would have heard the ding 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 when it happened.
But this
Unlucky.
matchup, Zyra into Blitz, very similar to like the Karma into Blitz sort of thing. Zyra will eventually push you in. Zyra Jin is a very potent bot lane. You will eventually get pushed in, but TM will look to bring only down to the bot side of the map again, I think. And they're going to look for a gank with the Blitzcrank. The Lucian Fiora matchup, though, in the top lane is going to be the interesting one.
Yeah, it certainly is, because I feel like that's so heavily swayed by jungle impact. If Lucian gets ahead, there's absolutely nothing Fiora is going to be able to do. And I think in the 1v1, he's going to be able to do that. But if Elise ever gets up there, is able to add any CC, because it's not going to be cleanse on Lucian this time, because it was played in the mid lane by Claire last game, then I feel that, you know, Ninja Tabby plus a couple of offensive items in it behind Lucian is going to get run over the top of.
Yeah, seems like Legacy are trying to show, trying to have a little contest amongst themselves to see who's the best Lucian. Hopefully go to game 3. We finally see Lost play a game on that champion where it actually belongs in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Not anymore, it doesn't. I actually, as far as bottom lane goes, Lucian gets punished incredibly heavily by both supports and AD carries at the moment. So I don't think we can say he belongs in the bottom lane, because I actually think he's really bad down there.
He just gets
jungle for
outranged by everyone.
Lucian top lane for Tally this game. It's going to be an interesting match. Both teams have drafted quite interesting again.
That's the skin. That's the Blitz skin.
But before we go deeper onto this Blitzcrank skin, let's check in with Hingers, who's standing by with Legacy's coach, Soul Strikes.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Soul Strikes, the coach of Legacy, and I want to talk about top lane. So, Lucian into Fiora, how does that compare after a kind of a rough start to game 1 with Jarvan into Camille for Tally?
It's James just really wanted to play Lucian into Fiora. He just wants the counter matchup this time, so hopefully he'll show something. Yes. Hopefully he wins the lane.
Hopefully he wins the lane. Yeah. Good coach analysis. So more broadly, what do you see as the sort of win conditions for Legacy's draft this game?
So we have a lot of we have utility coming from Brandon, the Karma mid, and we have Zach, which is one of the very highly contested pick, and so we have a lot of scaling, and during mid game team fight, we'll be able to choose whether we fight or we don't fight.
Excellent stuff. All right, well, best of luck in the game. Thank you for speaking to us.
All right, thank you.
There you go. You called it right, Spawn. Tally does get that prioritized lane matchup, but a unique one at that.
I'm telling you, Tally, he looks quiet and unassuming, but when he's playing League of Legends, every now and again he'll make his presence known. And I feel like this was one of the games where he's like, I'm not doing it anymore, Tim. Give me a carry.
And Big Brain Soul Strikes, all he had to say for him was, I hope he wins. I hope he wins the matchup.
For James's sake as well, I hope he wins the matchup, because if he doesn't, you know he's playing tanks for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of someone who's been stuck on Champion Shocks, probably locked in Orianna for the 4th time in the OPL, and he's tweeted about it at Cyclone, the look you give him when he picks Orianna for the 3rd time.
Yep.
He's playing that champion again. Hasn't had a few impressive games on Orianna, but
Ooh, Yellow Jacket.
no
Bold
victories
call.
yet.
Oh, that's a decent skin.
I mean,
I like chroma packs.
yeah,
Chroma
I know,
packs
but
are
he's
good.
got a blue jacket and a red jacket. And I feel both of those jackets are far superior to a yellow jacket.
Nobody uses blue jacket. Blue jacket sucks. Yellow jacket and red jacket are the 2 jackets.
Why yellow? Why not blue?
Nah, blue. It's too dark a blue. It's not a nice blue. Especially, you can't use that on Legacy anyway, because you'll be sitting up there in the top lane with your blue cloak on, and Tim's being in the jungle. He's on his wolf camp, and he's like, I hate the Chiefs. I hate them as a brand.
Here we
I
go.
hate them as
Here
a
we
colour.
go. Cupcake is actually maybe dead here, because he
There's
walked
no
back up.
flash.
Here
No
they
flash
go.
lost.
That's a good flash. He goes for the Cocoon on towards Lost, though. He pops the heal. Gonna be able to get away. Low taking some damage in return. Actually gets locked down. Cupcake gets a good auto attack trade.
That should have been so good from TM, but they just weren't on the same page. Like, when the Cocoon lands, like, T-Gun needs to be in there with the Ignite before the heal, and Low just honestly needs to be flashing forward so he can get his damage down. And then that's Lost, getting denied the wave. After he dies, pushed into the turret, they'd be in a much better position in this lane. Honestly, like, they burnt their pots, and I don't know, they have some advantage, but they're in a much worse position than they should be in the bottom lane for TM.
Still fine at the moment. Claire's going to show himself again, despite having only close by. And here comes Carbon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lobs the wall. He's trying to get on the lizard.
Big wall
You can
fan.
see the lizard.
There is, just perched on the rock, having a sunbake.
Trying to spook him.
Oh, now 2 members of Legacy are looking to try and stop Only from taking his Raptor camp.
So the one good thing I will say that came of that game is the fact... let's hold it for a second.
Just going to slap each other a couple of times, fighting over some chickens.
is the fact that now you're in a Blitzcrank lane, and one of the members has no summoner spells as well as no gap closers. So there is a window here that you repeat the gank, maybe through like the long way. There's a blast plant still up. You know that Carbon's playing top side of the map, and you look to see if you can punish further.
And Zyra Jin should get the push in that lane. Blitzcrank doesn't offer anything in terms of pushing the wave. Zyra can, she'll naturally push the wave when she's looking for Q poke and her plants. Like when you walk out of range, the Zyra plant's going to push the wave. Varus.
Good heads up play here from Praedyth actually. He's spotted out where Carbon is. See whether he can actually get away from this though.
Get some damage down, but Carbon's happy
chunked.
with that.
That's actually a heads up play again. The communication between Praedyth and Only has been incredibly impressive. Praedyth knows whenever enemy jungler is top side of the map at the moment, and I assume that that is probably Only communicating exactly where the jungler would be.
Yeah, playing with Only on the NSW team at State of Origin, or League of Origin rather, his communication was actually really impressive. He's very specific about what he wants, about where he wants you to ward and where he thinks people are.
Hang on, here comes Speed Race to Tegan. Getting it
got
into
him.
loss. Locked down by the Cocoon as well, taking so much damage. No Cocoon lockdown, but still dies eventually. First blood picked up by Low.
Almost unfortunate, but he didn't have any summoners to do it. Like if he had heal there, he would have lived because the Cocoon didn't land. It actually got blocked by the Zyra plant, so...
Only was going for the Only special again. I know you're a big fan of this, but just walking in between turrets and trying to force people away.
Yeah, I like that one. When you get, like, it is the worst. It goes back to the Soliki thing, like, whose day can I ruin, right? When you can zone someone off their outer turret and they're just sitting in between their, like in the middle of their lane, it's just like, it's just powerless.
I think any solo queue game pay-the views a day ruined anyway, so it doesn't matter too much.
Okay.
You don't have to be
All
camping
right, all right, man. Just because your top lane is questionable, and I happen to witness it.
I like that you say questionable. I would just say it's poor.
I was being nice.
I mean, you beat me in a lot of positions around Summoner's Riftfish, but I don't know if top lane is one of them.
No. Speaking of a good top laner, Tally is up 10 CS in the matchup already.
Come on, who allowed this guy on the desk? Ruining all our fun.
I don't have a desk. I don't know what you're talking about. We're standing here.
There is a small desk with screens on it.
Anyway,
we've got to watch the game somehow.
Lucian is bullying out the Fiora. He has no TP from the earlier play with Carbon top lane, chunking him out a bit. So this is a precarious position. Carbon is doing his golem kill for the bot side of the map.
Does he build Death Dance or Blade of the Ruin King?
I think you go Bork.
But does Tally have to do more than what he's doing at the moment? It's where he is now perfectly fine.
Well, he can't do more.
Oh, the Dosey-Do. He's in trouble.
Higgins found him. Does get a slam on towards the chickens. Hook doesn't connect. Good juke from Carbon.
He got roasted.
3 members of TM will group up. Only still gets the Raptor camp, but yeah, Carbon juking the hook.
Yep. Tally will do more. Like, he has to do more, and he will, but right now, because Carbon's getting caught at his Raptor camp on the bottom side of the map, he has no pressure, really.
And the way you have to think about CS margins, and I say this to everyone, is you have to think about them in percentages. Because there's only so much CS that Tally can punish so far. And when you're punishing 1 in every 5 CS, that's still a pretty good ratio.
I have a tweet coming in that says one-dimensional comps and playing not to lose. Not a good recipe for a series win.
I think they're
I don't know,
talking
if you're playing not to lose, you win.
No. There's a big difference between playing to win and playing not to lose. I think playing not to lose is rubbish. Because then you're too scared to pull the trigger on the play. You're too scared to make the hard decisions that need to be made, like the clutch decisions in the moment. And it's really hard to learn from as a new team like TM. If you play not to lose, specifically because you don't actually make a decision that you can then review afterwards, right? Like you make a decision, like you don't actually make any decisions, you just hesitate.
But the thing about TM is I don't know if they play not to lose, I just think they play very specifically towards their top laner.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that Praedyth is the only member that has carried over from the team. They could have also shopped him around and see if there was any other top laner they could pick up, but they obviously believe that the 1-4 style is very good for them, and they believe in this 4-man unit. And as far as a 4-man unit goes, this is actually a better 4-man unit than last game because it can generate picks. If 2 members go towards Praedyth in this game, T-Gun or Only can both flash on someone and kill them.
Oh, that was a flash out of Lost. And also, while I agree with you in terms of like the 1-4, is it really? I don't think it really comes down to whether Praedyth can be the one in the 1-4, right? Like it's on the mid laner whether you can 1-3-1 or not. Orianna, obviously, in this situation, isn't much of a 1-3-1 champion. Ori in a sideline isn't very good.
Yep.
But it's more so on the lack of a mid laner. The mid laner's champion pool, I guess, in terms of what he prioritizes, like the Zillion and all the control mages that the TM don't pull out the 1-3-1.
So currently Legacy have about Actually, no, it's Tandem Mines who have the lead at the moment. About 500 gold in their favor.
First blood.
In that first
Those
fight.
one-
Pop CS.
Was looking at the top lane CS as well as the jungle CS, which is heavily in favor of Legacy at the moment.
You have to be careful with Elise CS though, because if Elise gets in and gets Gromp and things like that, which she does very quickly, I mean, Raptor Camp is always going to be worth more, but she farms in a completely different way than all the other junglers at the moment.
Oh,
There's two
flash.
fights going through right now. Lost the first one.
Oh,
Like,
again.
only misses the cocoon. Is it going to cost him? Lost is actually
still
going to
got
live,
it.
and Tegan is almost
alive.
going to fall. Big mistake from Only. Meanwhile, top side of the map, Fiora is being dove as well.
Oh,
Legacy push Praetor off this time. That should be first brick for them top lane, and that cocoon now costs Only in the bottom side.
this is so good for Legacy. TM don't get the punish on the bottom side of the map that they absolutely need because this top matchup, Tally just got given the complete local gold. He got all of the gold from that first turret. Legacy break the top outer, and this Fiora is only going to be in a worse and worse position. I think Tally's going to have enough gold to buy Bork on his basis.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. When it's 40 to 50, it doesn't look all that much. But now you see the fact he's got 40 CS versus 20 CS. All of a sudden, it's nearly 100 to 70.
Yeah.
Plus the turret gold that went down, and everything is in favor of Tally. I mean, Legacy for so long has turned into a bottom-oriented team, but if you watched the OPL in 2015, they used to play around their top laner incredibly heavily.
Yep, gameplay.
Yeah, you're playing Master Yi, I think. Got a lot of
Creative
faith.
actually looking for a fight here against Tally. Pops his own ultimate. Riposte comes through. Tally just hugs the wall. You can't get that final proc, Creative. It's not going to happen. And Tally absolutely styles on
No
him.
flash.
Doesn't
Okay, good.
decide to flash
Only
through
here,
it.
though.
Only is going to try and wrap around. Tally is in some trouble. Still has flash battle.
Yeah, Only doesn't have flash, so all of a sudden this becomes very hard. Gets a teleport at least.
He's going to cancel that
Cancel,
one, I believe.
yeah.
Last second, make
Oh,
sure he
nice.
doesn't complete it. And that's really well executed by Legacy.
I mean, it's also not bad executed from Only because they would have got nothing out of that play without it. Now
Yeah.
they burn a teleport, so at least they don't have all that much pressure bottom lane or something like that with a 5-man dive going down. Because what you don't want to happen is Carbon and Tally to be able to shove out topside, then move bottom and absolutely just roast Low and T-Gun, who are actually performing quite well down here.
Yep. Big item pickup as well for Tally in the top side map. Blade of the Ruined King has been completed, and that's just in comparison to Praetor's Tiamat. Big purchase for the Lucian.
I mean, he also has boots too versus 0 boots, so there's 1,100 gold on Praetor that he's put towards defensive statistics, but still certainly 1,100, 1,200 gold up, which is huge.
Rest of the map, though, as you mentioned, fairly even at the moment.
Look at
Even
the-
slightly in TM's
Look at
favor.
the little scuttle crab, just chowing down on some honey melon.
Honey fruit.
Honey fruit, is it?
Honey fruit. All the melons. Not both. Can't be a honey melon.
We have a honeydew melon.
Yeah,
in real
no,
life.
that's a
Come on,
honeydew melon.
mate. You're a melon.
Okay. All right. I feel like the story of this game for TM has just been a series of unfortunate plays bot lane for the Blitzcrank lane, I think.
Yeah.
They've been so close so many times. That it would have been like 3 kills now. I think they got 1. They've executed 1 out of 3.
Series of unfortunate cocoons, actually.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Cool.
feel like it has been on Only's part that they've messed this one up, which is a bit sad.
And the
Very
first-
close every single time, but
Well, Praetor going for another trade top set back against Tally. Or is it Tally going for the trade against him? Slides back in. Culling not going to connect. Tally flashes forward, but look at Karma jump in, slaps him with the rubber hands. Picks up a kill. Now Legacy on the top lane in a turret.
Potentially need a shockwave this wave, otherwise it's going to fall down.
He does. Gets Tally in as well. Gets a kill for himself. Karma's in trouble as well. That's good damage from Only. Claire's trying to defend these blobs, but it's not going to be enough. So that's 2 kills for Only. And that's going to chase on towards Claire as well. Has the shield from Shock. Good tether. Great cocoon. Is Claire going to pay for this as well? Repel comes out. The bite's not enough. A couple more autos would be. He's still trying his best, but Only gets the 3rd one for TM, top side of the map.
Really nicely played out of Shock there. The only choice that they had was to shockwave the creep wave, but he also got 2 members with it, which was absolutely massive. Now bottom side, T-Gun in a little bit of trouble, but just does a wheelie, gets out. Hits the NOS.
yeah.
Cupcake throwing out the ultimate there as well.
But Praetor was already forced out of the lane, and Tally had a bit of an iffy culling there. I think he won't be happy with that one, but he used the flash to try and complete the kill, right?
Yep.
Whereas Carbon was coming behind. If Tally hadn't used the flash to try and kill the Fiora, which he didn't end up doing anyway, he would have been able to dodge the Orianna shockwave. It would have just cleared the wave, and it would have been a much better situation for Legacy.
Let's take
but-
another look at it. So this is what you're talking about. He's he probably has enough for a dash, so we'll see
Yeah.
whether he has it available. Probably is back up. So Shock comes around, absolutely nails him. That was flashed out of by Claire, so good mechanics from Claire. He actually turns around and gets some pretty serious damage.
Very close.
Small criticism here out of Only is I feel that you don't smite that blob, if you're going to give 400 gold to a mid laner or an Elise, probably prefer it on the not a mid
carry
laner or
jungler.
Orianna. No, I don't give it.
Carry jump. Oh, look at Blitzcrank in the top left. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That is the T-Gun. Look at him. Oh my god. That's it. That's the one.
We have Jake over here going through a nice high-level analysis about how you should give gold over towards the control mage mid lane. And you got Bryce, EJ, and Paul just going, look at that recall, mate.
You told us we're not allowed to talk about solo queue. You're banned from the
that's not solo.
recall.
This is the Blitzcrank skin in a competitive game of OPL. But no, as you were saying, yeah, probably should have given it to Orianna. But I mean, it's better than
not having it all.
Yeah. So Tally sees Blitzcrank here.
Oh, got Claire.
Claire has no
Shotgun to
flash.
follow up. Ultimate
Nice.
comes through. Good pullback. Claire taking a lot of damage, and
Only
Shock
on
picks up the
Tally.
kill.
Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, this game is going very well for TM, and T-Gun's actually generating plays wherever he goes on Summoner's Rift. Recall or no recall, having a pretty standout performance right now.
Legacy just don't seem like a very proactive team, and TM are sort of, even if they're mis-executing a lot of the time, they are setting themselves up in these proactive positions and they're making the play. And I feel like that's kind of the reason why Legacy isn't, they're just slowly accruing leads because they're got better teamwork and they have the winning matchups, but TM are actually making the plays to put themselves in the winning position, and I feel like it's working out now.
I feel like another thing behind this game that can't be overlooked is the fact that Shock has so much gold at the moment. He's going towards already. His second item has the needlessly large rod at only 15 minutes into this game. And there are lots of squishy members on the side of Legacy. I mean, only Carbon is a tank.
Big
that thought.
Gets the hook. Lost is dead. Ultimate's going to come out. Oh, no. He flashes away. He's still alive. And double teleport into the bottom lane. It's going to be Tally that gets there first. Brayden joins in. Pops the ultimate on Tally. Gets all the vital procs as well. Takes him down. Lost is a sniper standing still at the moment. No one from TM can capitalize. But Claire now is caught out by Shock. Good shockwave, knocking it back. Tegan's coming in for the hook. Knocks him up. No flash available for Claire. You've got nowhere to go. Blast cone isn't enough. Gets him over the wall. Back over towards Gromp. And now Carbon's bouncing on into the fight as well. Can't find anyone to engage upon, but still TM pick up the 1-for-0 trade.
Yeah, and already they're still going for it. Auto attack range of the Scuttle Crab. A little bit.
Nah, it's way too long. Way too far. No way. The crab was halfway up the river.
I mean,
Flash auto.
Flash, that's what I was,
oh, okay.
that's what I
Yeah,
was
no,
looking at.
yeah, flash auto.
Yeah, I was
Does it
going
drag
to
from
say
that far?
maybe a little bit of inexperience from Carbon on Zach because he was chasing straight towards the champion as opposed to the auto attack.
Next week in the TM video, I'm definitely expecting T-Gun to be standing there like, yeah, give Carbon. Zach, he sucks.
I mean, I know at Origin he hadn't played at all. That's a couple of weeks ago. And it does not get through solo queue. I check the stats on it every day, and not many people are playing it in solo queue. Obviously, not privy to scrim information. Does it get through in scrims?
A little bit.
A little bit?
With a 10-man system, it definitely doesn't get through in solo queue. So teams are leaving things up in scrims so that they can practice against them. Because it doesn't matter like how OP a champion is. If you don't know how to play it, then it's not very OP.
What's the scrim etiquette there? Do you ask the team?
You can ask. Yeah, like the coaches work it out prior to the game. If there's something, like it's a bit of give and take, right? Like, oh, we want to try this matchup, like, can you please pick it, sort of thing. But then it's also like you can't just ask them to get counterpicked like 6 games in a row. That's a bit unfair. Like, yeah, can you pick Lucian and I'll play Draven 3 games in a row, and then when we 3-0, we'll start posting real happy stuff on Twitter. But no, so it's a bit of back and forth. You gotta give them something to leave it open. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Nice when the teams work together, especially coming into Rift Rivals. Certainly need all of our top teams firing.
Yeah, love Rift Rivals. See you there, guys.
Maybe you don't like it, but I'm sure the Oceanic players.
No, it'll be good.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Lowe's being pushed out slightly here. Good damage on towards this turret coming out from Legacy, but seems like they've lost their footing in this match after the 6 kills that have been picked up by TM. They're now 2,000 gold.
They're playing bottom side, and only for some reason is just sitting in the jungle, probably waiting for the rotation to Praetor's lane. But I think Rift Herald right now would be a really nice option to go towards.
Meanwhile, there's a 4-man dive bottom. Actually, Carbon getting hooked under the turret. Locked down by Lowe as well. He's going to flash forward. Carbon can't pick him up. Bounces away. Bloblets get popped.
I mean, there's lots of people around him, so maybe you won't fall.
They're trying to block the hook. Don't know if that's the right
idea.
idea.
They're going to dive Tally here, if we can get a look at bottom lane.
He's in trouble. Tally going to take quite a bit of damage. Praetor dashes on in. Good dashes away by the Lucian, but Praetor's going to follow through. Pops the vitals, gets a kill, goes on a killing spree.
I love that play. Just flash after him. We actually have committed so much here. We need to kill him. They grab 2 turrets in response for just the turret of bottom lane, and they're denying so much farm on Summoner's Rift right now. that is a heads-up commit and what you have to be able to go towards if you're not going to win the 1v1 split push.
Legacy keep doing this. This is the reverse side of the map, but they keep taking these turret trades where they get 2 for 1 like constantly, and it's now been ever since the Gauntlet, I think. Yep. And as you were saying, yeah, now they're looking to pick up the Rift Herald. That's going to help them break the bot inner. So
I mean, and at the same time as Baron, we haven't seen it yet, but a pick and drop Rift Herald mid actually opens up Baron quite successfully. We've seen it in a couple of other regions, and see whether they're able to make it work, because that is a very late Rift Herald, probably the one of the latest we've seen in the OPL.
Luckily, Carbon didn't use it before he got his recall off. You know? Jump over the wall, press your trinket button. Oh, guys, I've made a mistake. Hashtag spooks.
Oh boy.
Was that the worst Rift Herald worldwide, do you think?
Well, probably. Probably.
Is it worse to actually do that or to get it cancelled? Which one do you think?
Get it cancelled. Well, getting cancelled feels worse, I reckon. But what Sam did is just more embarrassing.
It just took so much farm off Swiffer.
Yeah. Simon was so upset. He's just sitting there in comms like, I'm just gonna try and push this in. Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyway, don't steal the blue. They were looking for it.
And Legacy were trying to. So far today, none of the teams have had problems going up against blue and red buff.
Oh yeah, yesterday was a disaster.
It's great to see. Tegan's getting locked down here, taking some damage, but he's absolutely fine.
So what's happened here is TM as a whole, they took the 2 turrets and they took the Rift Herald, so they used a lot of their tempo to take that Rift Herald, and then Legacy got their positioning back on the map. So even though TM are ahead, they're kind of in a position now where they have to catch the waves. Bot lane is pushed in, Fiora is looking to rotate topside, and now they're slowly but surely like getting the control back because they have the advantages and the gold advantage and the lead.
But the one thing I do want to look at is the fact that they've let that wave sit there, and they're actually going to get Praetor to catch top wave, which is a big wave, shove that quickly. Then he's probably, actually, they're not going to do it. Lowe's going to take it. I was going to say, this is old school what Legacy used to do. This is how you get Tally back in a lane that's been camped. Just give him 2 side lanes that have been stacked up and make sure that your split pusher is in a good position. If he had have picked up that wave that Lowe just grabbed, he would be equal in CS when he was 40 CS down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still doing a good job. Now it's only 10 CS lead for the Lucian, which this lane to game is not too much. He will pick up a wave and a half here though, so increasing that one quite further forward. But still, as it stands, it's a 4,000 gold lead for TM, 1-7 on the scoreboard as well, using the pick-like team comp they have.
They need to be careful here. They're putting a lot of priority on bottom lane. This actually gave up mid lane turret last game when they did this. I think the right call is to just get your Fiora down there, play around topside and Baron, and then just only walks into the jungle and just drops a sneaky Rift Herald whenever he wants to and can rejoin the team.
So Legacy have thrown 2 members top lane. Carbon will be able to lock down Praetor to kick things off. Rubber Hand's going to get nicely parried and locks down Carbon, forcing him out there.
Probably still going to cost him top lane turret, to be honest.
Everyone for Legacy's rotating up. Rift Herald's being used bottom lane, and Lowe's here with only pushing this one down.
I mean, probably shouldn't have used it here. That one would have died already.
I mean, this is an inner turret.
Yeah, it's going to be inner. Probably could have saved a little bit more health on it.
So it's a 1-for-1 trade to kick it off. Let's see if TM can make it 2-for-1.
It definitely is 2-for-1. There's no way you can get within that turret.
Yep,
range.
Diva's charging.
Oh, that's painful. TM pick up 2 turrets in the bottom lane. Great Rift Herald use and react to the play main
And they've
topside by
actually
Legacy.
showed 3 members down here, so straight away they just ping Baron.
Yeah. Well, Legacy have all the topside control because they did make that topside play. So that Rift Herald bot not only gets them a 2-for-1 trade, but it means that TM can safely walk in. T-Gun hit the pink. There we go. T-Gun and TM can walk in the topside Baron, and take all the control with the pinks, clear out the vision, and Legacy obviously showed in the bot side of the map. Can't contest.
We're getting another Trinity Force Fiora as well, Fish. No, you're not a massive fan. I'm not either.
Nope.
Why does he do it? It is much better in the 1v1. Yeah, as far as 1v1 goes, and as far as squishy members, it's probably better against squishies.
Against Solution, yeah.
Just chains out your dashes quite nicely. Getting constant sheen procs is always good, but as soon as you miss one, that's it. Item's useless.
And not only that, it is very expensive.
Oh, Carbon's using Z.
He's going to use his ultimate. Brings Tegan into the team. Poor little beat boop. He's going to continue chasing on down. It's a very speedy crank. Can't get the hook off before he jumps away. You can see Legacy quite frightened of TM at the moment. Rightfully so. It's a 4,000 gold lead for the TM roster.
And they're once again playing incredibly well. They look composed. They look like they're the team that's making the proactive plays around Summoner's Rift right now. And it looks like the game is going to be either won by TM if they keep making the right calls, or if they drop one of the plays, then they will probably drop the game. As they've also grabbed another pick here.
Good lockdown, good hook.
Oh.
Cocoon's going to miss. Great flash from Tally. He's now going to try and turn around and fight. Only pumps the repel, trying to get away from this culling. Tally is fairly low. Everyone's
Starting
actually
to
diving on in.
re-engage, yeah.
Ultimate's going to come out from Lost, trying to slow them
no,
down. Low gets slammed into Tiga, takes a crit shot, but he's still at full health. Teleport is coming to the back lines from Praetor, looking to try and engage onto anyone from Legacy who is behind the team. No one is able to get that one off. That actually might be a bad teleport. Praetor could have stayed bottom lane.
That's
Has a
a
big wave
waste.
pushing.
Yeah, potentially could have stayed bottom lane, and he's actually just going to sprint back down there and see if he can continue to shove that wave in. Good news for Praetor is the fact that he has flash and Tally doesn't, so we actually just might be able to kill him, especially if he picks up this red buff here.
Only's moving down as well. Both of them have been undetected. This
Looking
is
for a pick.
dangerous. They might have it. He just dashed. Tally's got to be a bit careful.
Nah,
Here they
comes
go.
back up cooldown so quickly here.
Only's going to look for that cocoon. Can't land it.
That's a hard cocoon to land. He's on the very tip of the range. He can just keep walking forward.
Yeah, the thing about Lucian's dash that kind of is, it's like a long cooldown, right? It's like 11 seconds or something like that. But whenever he starts double tapping and, you know,
Yeah.
using that gunslinging passive, comes up very quickly. And as a jungler, it's kind of hard to judge, like, how many times does he hit a creep and how many seconds are left on this. So
And also, if you're using the dash to clear a wave, you're immediately double tapping afterwards anyway. Like you're using it to get more damage off on the wave because
Yeah.
you want to push it and leave. So it's
I mean-
more like a 7-second cooldown at that point, I think.
If
Yeah.
I'm not wrong, in his first spell rotation with Black Cleaver up, the dash is almost instant.
It
After
certainly
dash into WQ.
And the thing is it only had flash there, so he potentially could have flashed onto him for a better cocoon, but at the same time was like, I don't really know how long is on it. It was actually 2 seconds left on the cooldown, but didn't work out that way.
Just wallops the crab against a ward.
Certainly did.
What if you could do it against a blast cone? Just wallop him into the blast cone and knock him back somewhere else.
Probably could.
What takes priority there? Last cone beats most things at the moment. Doesn't
I
beat
don't know.
J4 flag and drag though. Flag and drag goes through.
Well, it depends on when in the flag and drag.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, because flag and drag is kind of like just start. Oh, here we go. He's an engage.
Karma going in deep, gets locked down immediately by Only. Gonna get the rubber hands off, slam him into some chickens. Hook goes wide. Looking for these big plays. Praetor's still switching bottom lane, doesn't have teleports, so Karma's looking for another
Oh,
in.
no.
Can't get shocked, forces the flash though, and everyone from TM's now just trying to
goes.
keep them right where they are, allow Praetor to continue split pushing.
That's absolutely fine. I mean, they had to burn 2 summoner spells, but that's all Carbon really has at this stage. And they're going to get back into the lane, which is where you want to be. Don't be in the jungle against a Zac. So now all of a sudden they have priority to be able to sweep out Baron again, drawn 2 members down. Players had a quiet game this time around. He was absolutely popping off on the Lucian game 1. Haven't really seen him all that much on the Karma.
He's gone for the same build that Shock did last game as well. He's gone for the Athenes into the Ardent Sensor and probably going for the Death Cap.
That's a long
That is...
Ooh, that's a
Oh.
good slam. Forces
Oh,
the flash. He
that's a
gets
hook.
Claire.
Oh.
Sorry, it's going to be Cupcake that gets locked down from downtown Carbon, though. Looking to try and deliver someone back into his team. Can't get it. Praetor has jumped up, though. He's forced to flash away from Carbon.
I think it was a bit of a waste on the Varus ulti. If they held that one, then like Legacy know they're going to do Baron and they know they're going to contest right now. So having that Varus ulti to look for a turn
Baron's
would
low.
be really
How
handy.
quick do they do it?
Yeah.
Because Carbon was so low, and they've got Blade of the Ruin King,
That's dead.
they've got an Elise
Too quick.
Wiggly Andrews. Too quick, they're going to be able to grab it. They're out safely as well.
They can just run. They're fine.
Good lockdown. Only
Still have
in
Shockwave.
some trouble,
Yeah,
but he's fine.
As the Karma, the Lucian, as well as the Jhin, you're not running over the 3-item Shockwave at this stage of the
Yeah.
game.
This is really exciting for TM. Honestly, like in the first game, they got into like a similar sort of position where they were ahead, but then they threw the lead with a couple of botched engages. But now they've got a Baron. Like this is the play where they break that mid inner and they start breaking the base. Dropping a mid outer at this point of the game when you have this lead and you have the Baron buff, I think this is definitely TM's game to lose right now, and hopefully they can pull through.
And this is the difference between T-Gun on a proactive support when he's a little bit ahead and can actually make the calls to go in for the hooks, versus T-Gun that was, you know, playing the Alistar and getting the game dictated to him. Actually steals away a Krug just to support my theory a little bit more.
T-Gun has also gone for the Sin Rogue build in the Righteous Glory. That's fairly interesting.
He's got to go quick.
Go quick,
Yeah,
man.
he wants to go fast. He's got flames on the side, so he goes faster anyway. He's doubling up. He's getting his cake and eating it too, just like Jish.
Oh no, just didn't eat the cake.
He,
from what I
he
heard.
gave it a good crack. I mean, like, say what you will about Jish, but he wasn't afraid of the cake. He gave it a good try.
I think halfway through. He was a bit
Yeah,
of a
yeah. After
bread of
3
the cake.
slices, he looked at me in the eyes and just had like the 1,000-mile stare.
Was it 4 slices he had to finish? Or there a lot more than that?
There was 8.
There was 8.
He was the entire game.
He got through 5. And
No,
he said,
yeah. Sorry, 5. And
Yeah.
like halfway through, like 6, and there's 2 left.
the thing that he said as well, he was like, he ate the first slice of the cake and he was like, this is a really good piece of cake. And this will be the last mouthful I actually enjoy of
Yeah.
the whole thing.
That great. Oh, Zach's looking for an engage.
Zach's looking for the
Low has no
engage.
flash.
Bumps them both together, getting
Oh,
popped the ultimate. Shock goes
nice.
the right way, but Low gets delivered back into the team. Shockwave dodged out by
Whip.
Tally as well.
Ulti.
Low eventually is
Oh.
going to fall. Tegan's the next target. The rest of TM are trying to run away. Praetor is still split pushing. So how many casualties are they going to take for this top lane inhibitor? Praetor's already got the turret. Still pushing for Low, only trying to run away from the rest.
Yeah, and as far as Shockwave goes, that's a whiff Shockwave. Oh, Tally.
He's going to
Cocoon
pick it up.
missed, yeah.
Only missed the Cocoon again. Repel's going to keep him alive, but not for much longer. They get the inhibitor, but they lose spawn. There's a teleport coming back to try and chase down Praetor as well. Connects the rubber hands. Good use of the parry, but Claire's right behind you. He's going to throw a tether on. Pops the ultimate, looking to try and get away. Can he? No! Just barely gets dashed on. Ace picked up by Legacy, trading for the inhibitor.
Really nice engage out of Carbon. He just continues to search for them. This time, because he's burnt so many summoner spells in the last game, engage actually is able to get onto a priority target. And Shock, just a little bit panicky there, actually goes for a single-man Shockwave onto Tally, who held the dash and was able to get out.
And if it was Johnny's strategy to give Zach to Carbon because he sucks, then he's probably wrong. Because that was a pretty sick flash into the ulti, knowing that Jin didn't have the summoners. Sorry, Varus didn't have the summoners. And that's what Legacy need. Here we
So
go.
let's take another look at this. So all of a sudden,
Lands
you
the
miss
Q.
it, lands the Q, gets on top of him,
Preemptive
flashes,
flash.
yeah, brings him back. And then if you cut off that choke there, Cupcake and Claire can't run in. Instead, Shock unfortunately pulls the trigger onto the damage dealing threats and is made to pay for it. As you can see, with speed up, Tally's just going to be able to chase everyone down.
Yeah.
And that's a very nice team fight out of Legacy.
Zyra would have been absolutely one-shot, wouldn't have gotten ulti off into 3 people by the Orianna. And Zyra actually does respectable damage right now. With the Leandries, like that like root combo into the ulti, he would have done a significant portion of Legacy's damage there.
Shock's got Ludozako Morello as well as Void Stuff, so as you mentioned, the one-shot's definitely possible. Tegan gets a hook though, Claire's locked out, almost instantly destroyed. Shock will pick up that kill. That's the mid laner dead. Legacy are still looking for a
again.
fight. Low doesn't get locked down, but Tegan almost gets sniped up. Tally's in trouble.
Here we
Praetor
go.
in the back lines. He takes down Cupcake, goes for Tally, gets knocked back by Zach halfway through the air though. Only will still
That might
take
be
that
game.
kill.
There's only 2 members left, and there is a huge super creep wave actually streaming into the base. They can chase out the Lucian, actually grab him. That will be the game.
Ooh, Praetor flashes the wall against Lost. Hello,
on,
what are
what?
you doing? Goes in for the trade, dashes
Oh.
in, throws out the
No.
parry, dashes back out, he gets out.
That's
but
trolling.
TM
Come
are
on.
now going to look to try and end this game. They want to take this one to game 3. Hook goes wide from Tegan. You can tell that again, Tegan is saying, don't go for these kills. His heart can't take it anymore. They're trying to tie up this series against Legacy. Lost wants to go for this kill against Tegan. Uses the silence, pops the ignite, can't knock him up.
Oi.
Shockwave misses, but it doesn't matter. TM tie it up 1-1.
And you can
Pop
see
it
how
off.
much this means to them. T-Gun's going nuts in that room. He knows that game 1 probably should have been there. Game 2, they stick to the proactive plan. They make it work. And Legacy look a little bit shook at the moment.
Yeah, TM have given Praetor the golf clap. I feel like that's becoming a thing now, yeah. And
Oh boy.
I know the bot lane seems very happy with that win, and I think this leaves TM in a good stead going on to the rest of the series. Because that's two games in a row where they've had that lead early, and then like they haven't thrown it in the second one, I guess.
So it's been 3 weeks of the OPL. Have Legacy lost every single game too so far?
Yep, certainly have. They've only picked up 2 wins, and even Carbon was pretty reserved last week. He said, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We know we have to clean up our gameplay. And going into Rift Rivals, that certainly still remains the case because TM is a squad that's been together for 3 weeks. I mean, and they've brought in some very new players and they've kept some veterans, and the recipe is working right now.
Jim's trying to wake up. Yeah, Legacy.
Someone get Leo ready. Get the Biff in there.
Yeah, they weren't saying a word there. They were looking pretty shook after that loss. They're definitely going to be disappointed that they're not picking up a 3-0 today. Not saying TM's lost like that, but yeah, Legacy are just not happy with that game.
Well,
yeah.
apparently no clue for Legacy there, as it's going to be TM that pick up the
Oh.
victory. But now let's send
Get
it
us
back
out
to
of
the
here.
analyst desk to break down that game.
Thank you, Fish. Well, yeah, he's right, though, right? You know, didn't take Nunu and they lose a game, Jish. So maybe Nunu's the secret to Legacy's, No? Don't agree? I don't know.
agree?
Much better work.
I feel like they upgraded in jungle and then
Yeah.
they lost. Yeah, they got like Zach. What?
Let me say something.
no one is good at Zach. T-Gun roasted me. T-Gun roasted me in the interview. You can't be good at a champion that's 100% big man in solo queue, dude.
No one's practiced.
No one's
it.
practiced. It's
Sybil's good at Zach.
It's just a bait. You see the green man and you're like, boys, it's OP. We won the game. Lock it in. And then it's just like, hang on a sec. I just realized I haven't played any Zach. And I don't know.
Is that what happened, do you think?
Well,
Because I did,
like that game.
Yeah,
like,
that's actually the analyst deck. Like the analyst desk is now shut down. We've just completely covered everything.
yeah, that's
next
what
game.
happened. All right, move it along, move it along.
Well, no, that game, like, Carbon actually played the early game relatively well. Like, he didn't get kills, but he put pressure on the right lanes. It just, unfortunately for Legacy and fortunate for TM, only put pressure on the right lanes as well.
Well, let's talk about Carbon's Zach, because as we bring up this first replay, Jibs, I want to run you through. We see him playing towards his strong lanes in the top lane there, but TM turned this one around.
Yeah, so I think here on this dive, they just went way too deep for Praedyth. Like, they got the kill, sure, but, I mean, you're really low. You've used all your cooldowns. Only comes in with the Cocoon. Really good shockwave. Claire has to flash it. They get Zach's blob. Really disagree with only smiting and taking this kill away.
So what happens then? Because, I mean, at least can do a bit of damage with a couple of items, right?
Yeah, he can build damage and get a few more kills with it. But I mean, your Orianna gets the 2-3 items quicker, and I really rate that. And you're seeing like the later team fights, Orianna absolutely cleaned up.
Jish, would you have said to only then, like, you know, hold off on the smite? The second kill seems like he's the only one in
second
range,
kill, yeah. Second kill
the first
fine.
kill.
I honestly feel like that first kill was probably just like a solo queue habit. He's just like walking through. He's like, oh, smite, that's mine. And then like
Take that.
afterwards, he would be like, oh, yeah, maybe I could have given that over.
Yeah.
These solo queue goblins.
Yeah.
From one solo queue goblin to another. He's king of the goblins. Jish, as we bring up this second replay, let's talk about team dynamics, because this is great out of TM, right? They as we bring up this replay, they know what Legacy's plan is here, and they kind of react.
Yeah, so this is what I complimented them for at the start of the segment, which is that they sort of know when they can move back from pressure and not give up more on the map. So right now, Tally is going to about to get dove 2v1 top, and they're going to lose that top inner turret, and then Shock's also shoving in mid, and they're going to get the mid outer. So like here you see like Tally has to flash as well and gets cleaned up. That's like a huge like gold spike for Praedyth, and he's going to get to his 2 items really quickly. And like T-Gun and Load just like back off ball. Like Carbon's walking through to like clean up them, and like they do end up losing their turret, but they don't die, and they don't make any sort of like huge snowballing situation.
It's a very underrated trait. Like leaving your tower, or just like walking back and playing where your pressure is, playing accordingly. And like that was just like a really good heads up play.
So like break that down, because people watching this, you know, some of them might be bronze, some might be silver. So what do you actually mean by that?
So especially in solo queue,
Yeah.
you will get like spam pinged and flamed, like if your top lane is getting dove,
Yeah.
right? And what they don't realize is backing off the tower, losing 20 farm is better than getting 3 farm on the tower, then dying, then going back to lane, and you've lost your wave and a kill.
And yeah.
Yeah, so it's like way more efficient to just like back off the tower and hope your team's getting something somewhere else. And like TM like got something somewhere else, got a tower, so like the net result or the net gain from that play was huge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You need to be honest and recognize that you can't have 3 winning lanes in this strong jungle matchup. Like somewhere is going to have to like it's an ebb and flow, right? Like somewhere is going to be strong, someone's going to be weak, and TM are really good at understanding where they have to play safer and where they just have to admit we can win these like 2/3 of the map and we'll just like play safer here.
Well, this is much better out of TM. Now, did you think a lot of that? We talked about their draft for the first game. But do you think there was a better draft for them in this second game?
I mean, they got the Elise again, and this was sort of what we were looking for. We were like, the carry jungler and only has to stand up and start making plays. And Jubes and I were like watching upstairs, and we're like, oh look, he's in bot lane. Oh, he's in bot lane again. Like this time, he didn't get like 100 farm and have 1 kill. He was like on 12 farm on his like 2nd or 3rd gank sort of thing. And he exerted a lot more pressure this game.
He had 15 CS to Carbon's 40, I believe, when they were around level 5, yet only had EXP advantage. Over Carbon, he was just farming his jungle. And Carbon didn't play that game wrong. Like, he did nothing wrong that game, I feel anyway. Like, he played around his strong lane, but it just goes to show that, like, on Elise especially, you just need to change your playstyle. Your XP and your gold does not come from farming camps. It comes from killing, and it was evident
farming
in that game.
champions.
Farming champs.
Wait, why play PvE when you can play PvP? Let's talk as well, when we talk about the draft. I want to talk about top lane as well, because we did shout out Praedyth early on. Going into this game as a potential carry threat for them. But going into Lucian top with Tally playing it, I mean, that was a favourable matchup to Tally, but still Praedyth was able to style occasionally.
Well, I think that Praedyth actually played that matchup really well. Like, he went down like a lot of farm, but he had a lot of pressure put onto his lane, and he didn't actually die to any of the ganks.
Yeah, that's a hard lane. Like Fiora lanes are like all the top tier Fiora players are always like, yeah, no, I had this one. It's like it's skill matchup. Like I can outplay this one, and like you don't outplay that. Like you have like one dash, and so does Lucian. You dash, he dashes, and then you just get auto. Like yeah, that's a really hard lane. And he was down like 20, 30 CS, and then he pulls it back.
Well, that's also to do with Only, right? Only playing around top and helping him out.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like he came top and he dove that inner turret, which we already pointed out in the replay. And he gave him a lot of vision and made like a big safety net for Praetor to get farm and get to those 2 items.
Well, one thing I would say is that's the lane Carbon invested in. So when Praetor didn't die, he went down like 30, 40 CS. It didn't matter because like Only put pressure onto bot lane, one bot lane. Once bot lane is won and like bot lane is fine on their own, that's where Only's like, okay, I've got the 3 kills. I need to take my gold to top lane and help my top laner get his items. And that's exactly what he did.
All right, well, moving on. We talked earlier about Only taking those kills, maybe taking that gold and taking it away from Orianna. But you were saying later on, Shock on Orianna popped off with the damage, yeah?
Yeah, well, it looked like in the team fight, especially around Wraiths, right before they ended the game, he landed a really big shockwave and he just one-shot Karma.
Yeah.
And pretty much forced a 4v5 team fight.
Yeah, and I mean, this doesn't do it justice, I guess. I'm going to bring up like this dumb idea of like what damage is like important, but Orianna was like hitting like really good shockwaves, especially like that Karma one. We said that pick gave them so much control, and it looks inflated against the Lucian, but as we said, like the Lucian's just going to auto you out through lane, so like his damage gets buffered a little bit, and then I don't know, like I guess Zyra is impressive too.
The thing I would say about that damage stat, right, is you're playing 4-1. Orianna's sole purpose in this team composition is to wave clear, not actually hit champions. So, yeah, TM's damage looks low, but they're literally doing nothing except clearing minions. And so for Orianna to top damage still, like, you expected a top damage, but it's still like a relevant stat, and I think she did, I think Shock did really well that game.
Yeah. So now these teams, one game apiece, but we're going into this third and deciding match. Only 30% of people thought this was a possibility.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I thought that.
No, I know.
I'm part of the 30%.
Well done,
Chief Gish, I hate Legacy.
I hate Legacy as a brand.
I hope it was a collar. Yeah, so going into this third game then, I mean, Juves, do you want to... Do you think TM is showing promise they could take this third game?
Well, every game today, every game today, TM has won the early game. Like at least a 3k gold lead come early mid game. So if I'm Legacy, I'm probably a little bit worried. Like we haven't won an early game against them. What's the problem? So this is where you have to assess: is it our draft? Is it the way we're playing?
Well, speaking of the draft again, I mean that Lucian top was meant to.
Sorry about the draft talk, guys.
No, just when I asked Solstrax about that, he was like, "Oh no, James, like Tally wants to play Lucian top, but that's a good matchup." But I think Solstrax was a little bit skeptical of it. He kind of sounded in the interview. I mean, I'm not putting words in his mouth, but I reckon he's going to come back in game 3 with like, no, this is my big brain. This is what you're going to play, and this is going to be a pure Solstrax draft this time around. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing about OS, and like you can correct me if I'm wrong as being a coach and being a coach that's gone internationally, like we prioritize like winning lane so hard. And I feel like it shouldn't be the case. Like we prioritize that Lucian top into Fiora in that game, for example, and like it really did nothing. Like it got a lead in lane, and then after lane it did nothing. So why are we prioritizing for lane?
I mean, yeah, sorry to give like a political answer, but it's just like it's team dependent and it's confidence dependent. So a lot of players, I think like Chippies is a really good example. He's the player who's always going to take like what's comfortable and what he wants for himself. And other players like Tally and Swiper often maybe are more pushed towards the things that is good for the team. And it just depends on the team dynamic more often than not, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, no. Well, so Legacy then feeling bad about this. What do they need to change going into this game 3 to turn things around? Because like you said, they've gone behind in the early game 2 games in a row now. So should they be playing for some more like early game champs?
Well, every game they've given Only jungle priority. Like they've given him every game. Only has had the best jungler in the game. Yeah. Except, like, I mean, Zach's probably the best jungler in the game, but if you can't play it, it's really not.
No one can play Zach.
No one can play Zach. Just ban Zach from
everyone sucks at Zach.
Especially Juves, by the way. No, but so I would just say, like, let's just focus on getting Carbon like a really good matchup and just let Carbon do some work. Like, he's shown in the past he can do work, and like he's a good jungler. Like,
but for him, he just wants to play. He wants to smite Nunu.
He wants to play what's good for his team, right? And like what's good for his team right now is him to like exert pressure on lanes and just like not let TM build an early gold lead.
Yeah, I mean both games, Carbon's actually first picked his jungler. Obviously, on red side it was like first rotation and they already had the jungler, but they can definitely save that for like the later pick and like try get him actually a favorable matchup, as Juve said. And then like play more around how shutting Only down a little bit and giving him less opportunities. I think that. Yeah, Carbon just needs to sort of step up a little bit and maybe go back to that Game 3 releasing we saw from week 1, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because that was like really impressive.
Yeah.
All right, that's a possibility. I want to talk about a little bit about bot lane before we move on, just before we go into this third and deciding game, as we're counting down the minutes. And I mean, we got to see the Goons Blitzcrank. It's pretty good, but they were going up against Lost and Cupcake. And I mean, when we think of these guys, how do you think of they're playing this game?
Well, the thing about that is like, I don't want to like sound well, if Legacy's bot lane doesn't do well, it seems like they don't win, right? Like that's not all the time, but that's kind of what it feels like. And so only like ganked bot really early, got TM's bot lane priority, and then I think they solo killed them even, right, in a 2v2. I could be wrong, but from memory, I think they solo killed them or got a gank off. So I think like that TM had the right idea. They just focused bot, and like as you can see, they didn't do anything extraordinary by the stats there. Like the damage done isn't great, the kill participation isn't great.
But it's just like if you cannot feed,
they just neutralize Legacy's bot lane.
Yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes it sound really easy. Oh, yeah, just neutralize them, it was sweet. I think that, yeah, no, it actually is kind of true. I think a lot of the times we've seen drafts be focused around getting like that hyper carry comp.
Yeah.
And on the Jhin Zyra, which is pretty much just a utility lane, they didn't look that impressive.
All right. Well, that's our analysis of game number 2. But anyone want to change their predictions going into this third game? Who thinks team's going to win? Anyone? Jish, do you think? I mean, you're an anti.
My prediction's currently correct.
I know
Why
it's
would I
currently
change?
correct.
Wait, so you 2-1 Legacy or
2-1 Legacy? I'm giving the opportunity.
No, Legacy going to win this game.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I'm confident that big old Timmy Wendell, Carbon, will just go back and say, boys, this game's on me, all right? And he will just whip out the Lee Sin, and it's all done and dusted. They go home. All good.
All right. Well, let us get into game 3. To get us there, let's check out some highlights from game number 2.
Speed race to Tegan. Gonna get a little bit to lost. Locked down by the Cocoon as well, taking so much damage. No Cocoon lockdown, but still dies eventually. First blood picked up by Low. There's 2 fights going through right now. Lost the first one. Only misses the Cocoon. Is it going to cost him? Lost is actually going to live, and Tegan is almost going to fall. He does. Gets Tally in it as well. Gets a kill for himself. Karma's in trouble as well. That's good damage from Only. Claire's trying to defend these blobs. It's not going to be enough. So that's 2 kills for Only. And now he's going to chase on towards Claire as well. Has the shield from Shock. Good tether. Great Cocoon. Is Claire going to pay for this as well? Repel comes out. The bite's not enough. A couple more autos would be. He's still trying his best, but Only gets the 3rd one for TM top side of the map. Meanwhile, there's a 4-man dive bottom. Actually, Karma getting hooked under the turret. Locked down by Low as well. He's going to flash forward. Karma can't pick him up. Bounces away. Bloblets get popped. I'm in trouble. Only going to take quite a bit of damage. Praetor dashes on in. Good dashes away by the Lucian, but Praetor's going to follow through. Pops the vitals. Gets a kill. Goes on the killing spree. Sax looking for the engage. Bops them both together. Getting popped the ultimate. Shock goes the right way, but Low gets delivered back into the team. Shockwave dodged out by Tally as well. Low eventually is going to fall. Tegan's the next target. The rest of the TM are trying to run away. Praetor is still split pushing. So how many casualties are they going to take for this top lane inhibitor? Praetor's already got the turret. Good use of the parry, but Claire's right behind you. He's going to throw a tether on. Pops the ultimate. Looking to try to get away. Can he? No! Just barely gets dashed on. Ace picked up by Legacy, trading for the inhibitor. Tegan gets a hook though. Claire's locked down, almost instantly destroyed. Shock will pick up that kill. That's the mid laner dead. Legacy are still looking for a fight. Low doesn't get locked down, but Tegan almost gets sniped up. Tally's in trouble. Praetor in the back lines. He takes down Cupcake, goes for Tally, gets knocked back by Zac halfway through the air though. Hook goes wide from Tegan. You can tell that again, Tegan is saying, don't go for these kills. His heart can't take it anymore. They're trying to tie up this series against Legacy. Lost wants to go for this kill against Tegan. Uses the silence, pops the ignite, can't knock him up. Shockwave misses, but it doesn't matter. TM tie it up 1-1.